During the Industrial Revolution, rapid urbanization of modern cities created the need for the rethinking of the toilet. Plumber Thomas Crapper forever changed the flush toilet by adding pieces to make it more sanitary. As urbanization led to massive amounts of people in one place, the amount of waste produced increased as well, and toilets were necessary to keep the city sanitary. The improvement, accessibility, and use of flush toilets successfully combated the poor sanitation of urbanized cities. As job opportunities began to arise in newly formed industrial cities, there was a massive jump in the population of factories. After the Enclosure Act, working class people unable to adjust to the new ways of life were forced to abandon their rural lives in order to support themselves and their families by relocating to more industrialized cities to work in factories. As the population increased, so did the need for better sanitation standards. More people working in factories meant cleanliness of these factories dropped significantly. People began to get sick, but they would go to work anyways, getting more people sick and overall creating a metaphorical petri dish for disease to incubate. One of the contributing factors to these problems was the lack of understanding of how sickness spread. During this time, the waste from toilets was discarded directly in the sewers, which would then be used as a source of drinking water. This promoted more sickness, which needed to be explained and resolved in order to maximize efficiency of workers. Cholera was a massive problem before the renovation to the toilet. Random outbreaks would kill up to 15,000 people in 1 year alone. John Snow, a doctor, discovered that the disease was spread through the waste in the drinking water. He experimented and found that only people drinking from certain water pumps retrieving polluted water were getting sick. This finding caused cities to make sudden changes by relocating their reservoirs and decreasing cholera outbreaks. Once the main cause of the poor sanitation was discovered, it was time to make improvements on the toilet to prevent pollution. The flush toilet has been around since the late 16th century, but it needed upgrades in order to keep up with the changing times. Thomas Crapper's addition of the disconnecting trap made it easier for the pipes to fit together and significantly lessened the spread of disease due to leaks. He also invented the floating ballcock, which also prevented leaks. With Thomas's improvements, which are still in use today, the chance of leakage leading to sickness was vastly diminished and the percentage of people getting sick relatively went down. Although the improved toilet gained recognition as a way of decreasing sickness, not everyone was able to take advantage of its benefits. At first, flush toilets were only available in public places and cost a penny. But by the end of the 1950s, building codes suggested that all new homes were to be built with a flush toilet. Factory workers were not commonly buying new houses, so they were not all able to access the improved technology. But the sewers and reservoirs were getting cleaned up. This meant that even though only some people could use the new toilets at first, many people were aware of why sanitation is important and how to maintain it. Once the sanitation problems were understood and changes to the flush toilet were made, the sickness caused by overcrowding due to urbanization was finally under control. Thomas Crapper's additions and growing availability of the toilet combated the negative effects of urbanization and kept populations safe and clean.